So one thing that I thought was interesting about the play was how it was structured. Um, just the use of like the moments and the jumping from character to character kind of gave multiple perspectives for the audience and allowed them to form their own opinions. And I also thought it was interesting how the play starts off with all the citizens being proud about where they're from and like saying that it's such a great place to live, and then it quickly switches to like the prejudices that exist in the town and how some people aren't accepted just because of their lifestyles. For question two, I said that the two values that were represented were people having different viewpoints and the value of pride. So, in almost every situation, the interviewers kind of interview one person who has one viewpoint and someone else who has a different viewpoint. This kind of gives different perspectives of the situation, and this can be seen with the descriptions of McKenny and Henderson. So Matt Galloway kind of described who was the bar back at the bar. He kind of described them as like dirty, grungy, and rude. Whereas like Sherry Anderson, who was a friend of Henderson, and an anonymous friend of McKinney, kind of described them as like good kids who were sweet and quiet. So I thought that was interesting to see the different viewpoints, and that kind of was prevalent throughout the whole play. And then secondly, I said that pride was a big value of the town in Laramie, and many of the citizens were very prideful of the town that they lived in. Even after Matthew Shepard was attacked, one of the citizens named Jeffrey Lockwood said that the attacker could not be from Laramie because the citizens that they have don't act like that and they don't attack their own citizens. And also, many of the citizens said that like Laramie was a good place to live with good people and that you always have an opportunity to be happy with your life here, which kind of wasn't what all the other citizens were saying. So I thought that was kind of weird, but yeah. For question number three, I said that I was confused about how the stage would look when they were performing this play, so I looked up a video, and I saw that the characters were all on the stage at once, and whenever it was someone's turn to speak, they would turn a light on, and the character would speak, and then it'd turn off. And all the other characters were like not shown in the light, so it kind of spotlighted who was supposed to be talking. It kind of helped me visualize like how the play was meant to be performed and helped me read the play easier too. For question four, I said that Laramie was a small town where everyone kind of knows everyone's business. I said that in terms of acceptance and tolerance, I think that the citizens were definitely more tolerant as they were accepting. So the citizens definitely lean towards the tolerant side, and this can be seen as like when they're interviewing the minister's wife, who kind of says that her husband doesn't condone the homosexual lifestyle, which kind of shows that he's not really accepting of it either. And this is also seen when they speak to the LGBTQ members of the community, and they say that they don't really feel welcomed at like the bar, so they have to go to other states because they don't feel like they're being treated the same way. And I think that theater kind of wants us to think about how our actions are perceived by others. So this can be as little as giving someone a glance at the bar just because of like what they look like or how they act. I think they'd also want us to see that they also express the difference between being tolerant and being accepting of someone's lifestyle and how like the actions can be seen. And I think this could happen in Columbus just because Columbus has a variety of different backgrounds and histories in it. So like people with different variety or backgrounds and history. So I think that it could happen, but maybe not to the same extent that it did in Laramie. Three examples of three elements that I thought were different in the Laramie Project were that the narrator plays much a larger role, and he kind of gives background into characters and kind of introduces them when they're about to speak. I also said there's much more characters, which there's in the Laramie Project is probably like 30 to 40, where in Intimate Apparel there's probably 10 maybe, and it kind of gives different viewpoints for the characters. And there's much more jumping around, which also gives different viewpoints. And finally, for question six, I said that why do you think that the citizens of Laramie couldn't understand that the attack was done due to homophobia? And for question two, I said, how would you feel if you were a citizen from Laramie during this time period?